As freelancers, we trade time for money. As entrepreneurs, we trade time for investment. Now, as freelancers, we have different metrics for doing this. We could do build hours, we could get paid per project. Back when I was doing a lot more freelance journalism, then we would be paid per word. There's some type of metric. Now, we might have more flexibility than the traditional 9-to-5 job, but there's only so much of ourselves we can give. For instance, if back to the plumber analogy, how many toilets can you plumb at one time? Probably only one. So there's a certain restriction to that idea. It also means as freelancers that we get paid the same amount no matter what's happening with the people or organizations that we're working with. Now, I've worked with some publications or organizations that were literally going bankrupt right after I did the work with them. I've been in bankruptcy court. It is crazy fighting for your money. And then I've been in situations where I've freelanced for an organization or a person, and then they became a billionaire or in some cases a trillionaire after the fact. Either way, I got the same plumber rate. As entrepreneurs, though, we trade time for investment. Most of the time, we're building something that we don't have that guarantee that it's actually going to financially pay off later on. Because of that risk and that higher risk, we get a chance of a higher reward. When my co-founders and I sold Cuddler a handful of years ago, we sold the company, we got a check, and then we split that check based on our ownership of the company. It also makes it easier to build passive income because more than likely you're actually going to own at least a part of that intellectual property that you're building, unlike being a freelancer. I'll tell a lot of my coaching clients that if they're heavy into the freelancing, why don't you try to get some ownership going as an entrepreneur? And if they're hardcore entrepreneurs, I'll recommend that they get a little bit of freelance going. I actually follow the same formula, which has got my career to where it is now. I do freelancing and have always done freelancing because it gives steady or more steady income. And it doesn't require me to put on the leadership role all the time and figure out what the culture is going to be. And then I do the entrepreneurship because it allows me to make a bigger cultural impact, allows me to build in ownership as well as passive income, and allows me to impact things in a way that I wouldn't be able to do as a freelancer.